Ravens, meanwhile, have 7 players on the COVID-19 reserve list due to close contact with Marlon Humphrey. They'll be available Saturday morning, I believe. Saturday morning. If it was yesterday that started, they can return after 5 days. Look at the guys, though, who won't be available to practice this week in advance of a game at Indianapolis. Matthew Judon, who was ejected from Sunday's loss to the Steelers. Patrick Queen, one of the candidates for Defensive Rookie of the Year, among others, who will be unavailable this week as the Ravens prepare. And, the NFL's desire to get games in, hey, you let the virus into your building, you have guys who are in close contact, you're the one that faces the strategic disadvantage of not being able to get your guys ready. We saw it with the Raiders a couple weeks ago. We're going to see it with the Ravens this week.
Yeah, we saw it with the Raiders offensive line, and, they came back, and unfortunately for Trent Brown, he wasn't able to play anyway because of the IV mishap. But they hope to get these guys back in the game, but missing practice time just hurts. Mike, sometimes it just feels like it's a team's year. Like, this feels like it's the Steelers' year. And on the other hand, it feels like sometimes it's not a team's year. And you look at the 49ers and the Cowboys and the Broncos and now the Ravens, and there's just a feeling you get that maybe it's just not their year with the COVID issues and injury issues and everything else that's gone on. With the Ravens, it's been Lamar Jackson not playing like he did last year in his MVP year. But it's just starting to feel to me like maybe this just isn't the Ravens' year. And that's unfortunate for me because they were my preseason favorite to win the Super Bowl.
Well, mine was the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, so I'm feeling pretty good about that right now. But I also had the Patriots making it out of the AFC, and they're not dead yet. The Terminator is not dead yet. But you make a good point about COVID-19. Look, we saw in training camp, the one clip I saw from Hard Knocks this year, Anthony Lynn telling his players on the Chargers, hey, whoever masters this is going to be in position to win the Super Bowl. And I suspect that Mike Tomlin understood what he needed to say, how he needed to communicate, and the level of fear. And I don't mean that in a bad way. Look, one of the ways that a coach holds his team together and gets his players to do what he wants them to do is have them scared of what will happen if they don't do what the coach says. And this isn't something the Steelers are going to advertise to the world, but we haven't seen or heard any stories of Steelers players out and about doing things they shouldn't do. There haven't been any videos of Steelers players out in restaurants or bars. My guess is between the veteran leadership on that team and the head coach, no one is going to bring that virus into the facility because everyone is going straight home and keeping themselves clean and clear as best they can from the virus. Now, it's still impossible to completely insulate it from it, but I think this is one of the reasons why the Steelers are having a special season. They can fully trust that their guys have gotten the message from Mike Tomlin and from the veteran leaders on the team to not screw around. That's what makes it so stunning that the Patriots had a COVID issue, because I thought they'd be the least likely team to fall into that trap. The Steelers, I think, in reality, are the least likely team to have to deal with it.
Yeah, and Ben Roethlisberger, if you remember, Mike, I think it was right before the season started or maybe right when the season started, talked about we're going to do the right things on this team. We're not going to go out and eat. We're not going to – I think he's homeschooling his kids, if I remember the quote accurately. He's doing everything right and said he expects all the other players on the team to do that. So that's veteran leadership right there, telling the other players, this is what we're going to do. This is how we're going to stay healthy. And so far, whatever the Steelers are doing – it's worked for them, and they do look like they are the team right now, the healthiest, without COVID issues, everything else. They're just rolling along, and the train is on the tracks and moving toward the playoffs and potentially a Super Bowl.
That said, when I went back and watched the Ravens-Steelers game last night and again early this morning, my big takeaway was how in the hell did the Ravens lose that game? There's a rematch coming up 3 weeks and 2 days, Thanksgiving night, Heinz Field in Pittsburgh. That's a big game for the Steelers to assert that it really is a special season for them.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.